So how do you create creative opportunities? I think the key word there is opportunity. Tim Ferriss once said that the fastest way to get what you want is to think of the simplest, easiest version of what you want and then to start by doing that. A couple years ago, I told myself that I wanted to be a real musician, a musician's musician, and I thought, what does that look like? What does that even mean? And for me, it really just meant that I want to be somebody who is creative every day. If I want to be a musician, then I need to make music every day. If I want to be an artist, then I need to make art every day. The author John Grisham came to my school and gave a speech, and he was talking about the process of writing his first novel. At the time, he was a lawyer working, and it had always been a dream of his to write a novel. And so he started writing his book, but then things got busy with work, his family moved, they had a kid, and so he had put his book aside for a whole year. And he said after that year, he picked up the manuscript and he realized that it hadn't written itself, that not one page, not one word had been written while he had set it aside. And he took it as a lesson for himself that if he wanted to write the book, he needed to write the book. That is, he forced himself to write every single day. And that was his first novel. I think ironically, it wasn't successful at all, but he gave himself one more chance, decided to write a second novel, and that was the book that spurned his whole career. So what does that look like for you? What creative things do you want to do? And what's the simplest, easiest version of that for you? Do you want to be a photographer? Do you want to see your paintings hanging in galleries? Do you want to be a songwriter? Whatever that is, think about what's the easiest, simplest version of that. For me, wanting to play music every day, that almost became an end in of itself. So I set this goal for myself to simply make sure that I played some kind of music for myself every single day. Sometimes that's playing my violin, sometimes that's playing my guitar, sometimes that's sitting down at the computer and composing or playing piano. Whatever that looks like, I made that commitment that whether it's for 1 minute or for 1 hour, that I'm playing music every single day. Last summer at the place that I work at, they had a drawing for Teacher Appreciation Month, and it turned out that I won. So for my prize, they gave me an option of winning a wind instrument, a piano book of love songs, or a ukulele. And I had really never wanted to play ukulele before, but because it was a string instrument and I kind of had some experience with string instruments, I thought it could be kind of fun. So I picked it up. That same summer, me and my family went on a road trip to go to Montana to visit some family. And this is kind of where the opportunity arose, where I had that habit that I insisted on, even though I was busy, even though I was on the road, that I had to find a way to do music. I felt that the simplest, easiest version of that would be to bring this guy along. It doesn't take up very much space, and so I threw it in the car, and while we would be driving, I just pulled it out and started noodling. And it was kind of nice. I didn't even know any notes or any chords. I still don't really. That's kind of what I love about it. I have intentionally not gone and looked up the chords or the finger charts for it because I love having to approach it in a new way, and it kind of feels like learning music all over again from the beginning. Because I made that opportunity for myself while I was sitting in the backseat of the car and we were driving, I ended up writing this song. And this song has come to symbolize this time for me, kind of like a snapshot, like you might take a picture with your family. But this song makes me think of Montana. It makes me think of that time spent with my family. It makes me think of my childhood and all the time I spent in Montana. That's why I think that you should try to craft opportunities, creative opportunities for yourself, because you will receive back the reward for doing that. Sometimes our goals can seem too overwhelming to do. But if you break it down into what's the simplest, easiest version that I can do today, you'll get a lot closer to that goal at the end of the day. Thanks so much for watching, guys. But remember, you have a voice that matters. So stay creative, and I'll see you next time.